Assalamualaikum guys. Let's start our lecture first. Fancy and Imagination by St. Coleridge, Biographia, Literaria. It's have introduction, theory of imagination, then it's kinds of imagination, primary imagination, secondary imagination, and fancy, and conclusion. Introduction. Biographia literaria is a work of great value. Biographia literaria जो है ये काम है बहुत ज़्यादा अहमियत का, बट इट टू सफ़र्स फ्रॉम द यूजुअल फॉल्ट्स ऑफ कॉलरिज. ये जो है यूजुअल फॉल्ट्स जो हैं आम तौर पर कॉलरिज के ये सफ़र हुआ है. दैट एज इट्स नेम सिग्निफाइज, इसका जैसे कि नेम जाहिर करता है, इट प्रटेंड्स टू बी अ record of the poet's literary upbringings, but there is a little constructive narratives. There is too much of philosophizing and too many side issues and digressions. Theory of imagination. Coleridge's view on the nature and function of imagination are brought out clearly in chapter 13 and 14. According to Coleridge, imagination has two stages, one primary and secondary. Further, he elaborates the way in which imagination distinguishes from fancy. Kinds of imagination. Primary imagination. By primary imagination, he means the living power and prime agent of all human perception. However, primary imagination is merely the power of receiving impressions of the sense, both in their parts and as a whole. It is an unconscious and involuntary act of mind. The human mind receives impressions and sensations from the world outside and imposes some sort of order on those impressions, so that the mind is able to form a clear image inside of the outside world. Secondary imagination. Secondary imagination Coleridge considers as an echo of the former coexisting with the conscious will. Secondary imagination is thus more active and conscious in its working, which requires a will, volition, and conscious efforts. However, it is a process of reshaping and remodeling is considered by Coleridge as a symplastic stress, that is a shaping and modifying power. Fancy. From the order of time and space, it combines what it perceives into beautiful shapes, but like the imagination, it does not fuse and unify. Coleridge considered the difference between them, the difference between a mechanical mixture and a chemical compound. Conclusion. Critics has reacted strongly to the Biographia Literaria, but Coleridge delivers a Biographia Literaria without a second thought of whether or not there will be any disagreement from his audience. He does not cater to one audience, he just expresses his thoughts. Coleridge owned his interest in the study of theory of imagination. He is the first critic to study the nature of imagination and examine its role in creative activity. He distinguishes between primary and secondary imagination. Coleridge's treatment of the subject is characterized by greater depth, penetration, and philosophical subtlety. It is his unique contribution to literary theory.